when you hear that lucid dream induction mask, what do you think of? It sounds very sci-fi.
Is it like a face hugger that just sucks dreams out of you or something? Hey everyone, welcome to episode 33 of the Let's Dream Podcast. This is your host, Lee, and we always have
Casey Lucid. Thank you for joining us, everyone.
Thank you guys for listening so far, and we wouldn't be here without you guys. And today we'll be discussing dream technology, which Casey will be presenting to us and we'll be talking back and forth with.
Yes, so basically, a lot of people, when they think of dreams or lucid dreaming, it's all very internal because, that's what dreams are pretty much. But there is actually a good amount of technology, and it ranges widely from things that are available to everyone to things that only very specific research institutions have access to. But it's something that I believe all of our listeners will find very fascinating. And so let's just start right off. So, Lee, what do you think of when you think of the word technology? What do you think of?
Well, I think of my phone,
okay,
computers, AI, planes, iPads.
Okay, yeah, that's probably what most people would think of when they hear the word technology. However, it's technology is something is basically the application of scientific knowledge for a practical purpose, especially in industry. That's like the actual textbook definition of it. But in the simplest terms, you have things like pen and paper, that's considered technology. There's a reason why back in the day, those who could read and write held a significant advantage over other people. But that's really the number one point for dreams. Would be the first part of the technology, I would say, that's available to everyone is dream journaling. And, that's something that we're always drilling.
Okay. You keep your dream journals out there, people?
Yes, dream journaling. Always, it's so important. And, a lot of people feel like it's not, how like you try to do something and it's not reinforced because you don't have, and you're not getting any feedback from anybody. So it's like, I don't know about you, but like if I'm doing something and I'm not getting like any positive response or like any response at all, it's just kind of like, it loses my attention, because I want feedback. I want to see what people are thinking, So we have the subreddit where people can post dreams that they just want to share, or if they want art done, to be associated with it. If you go to the subreddit for LetsDreamPodcast, that's literally what it is. It's just LetsDreamPodcast, one word. There's a subreddit for it, and people will post things on there, and you can have a discussion about your dreams. So that's one good way to use modern technology, like Reddit, along with just journaling.
Yeah.
How do you like to journal your dreams, Lee?
I wake up and then I fumble around for my journal. I'm like, oh crap, where is it? Did I leave it here? Oh, there it is. I reach over. I'm like, okay, gotta go find a blank page. Okay, oh, there's one. All right, is this coherent? And start scribbling down. Oh man. And I think to myself, man, my handwriting sucks. Oh, I hope I can read this in the future. Oh, maybe this one will be interesting for Casey. Well, that's good enough. Time to brush my teeth.
Yeah, that's pretty spot on. That's right about how usually how it works. Actually, it'd be funny. We should both post some pictures of our dream journals on Instagram so people can see, because it's horrible. Like sometimes I'll sit there for like a minute try to decipher what I wrote. But
also, I really like my fine point pen that I use. It glides really easily, but that can be also negative because it looks like chicken scratches to other people. But I love the line it makes. I love writing with it.
Yeah. I remember one of my older dream journals, this is like a couple of years back. Like now it's easier because I've developed the habit of just remembering my dreams. So I can wake up and get ready and I'll still remember pretty much all of it. And then like sit down and take my time and write it. But I remember like some of my earlier dream journals where I'm just kind of like fumbling, especially like when I don't have like the right amount of time to do it. Yeah, it's just like, it literally looks like how, like you go scratching on a paper to get a pen to write when it's out of ink.
Yeah.
Some of my writing looks like that. Like, what the heck is going on here? So like, if you're like that, like a lot of people are, then recording yourself might actually be easier, that's another dream technology, or not dream technology, it's just technology that you can use to enhance your dreams, which is just hit record on your phone and just talk into it, and immediately, because that way it's, I would arguably like the least resistance. You know, you just hit record and then you record yourself. That's probably the easiest way to do it. But
you know the thing about recording your dream journal or dream recording? Sometimes people will do it in the middle of the night as well, if they have a dream or something. And that could be kind of hard, especially if it's dark and you're trying to write or trying to find your phone and then click the record button.
Yeah. Or if you have a significant other and, you know, you're just waking up, they can just put on the record and record you. Actually, funny story. One time I had a surgery done and my fiance picked me up from the hospital, and on the way home, you know, I was still coming out of the anesthesia and I was really out of it. And then I told her about this weird dream that I had during anesthesia, and my fiance thankfully was thoughtful enough to record it. She actually recorded what I was saying about my dream because I didn't remember it. And then like she played it back for me, and it kind of started coming back to me. So that's always fun if you ever get a chance to do that.
And on the note of like recording, this is kind of a tangent, but like I've always been curious about like talking in your sleep. Is that like a dream-induced state or anything like that?
You know, so also another funny story about that. I don't remember if we've mentioned it on the podcast before, but like maybe like 5 years ago around Thanksgiving, I was crashing on my mom's couch and I was like really tired. And, you know, we were having like a family meeting for the Thanksgiving, and then I just fell asleep on her couch, and then she was just getting food ready. And then after I woke up, she started asking me what certain words in Russian mean. And I'm like, why are you asking me that? I have no idea. And she got angry at me. She's like, yes, you do. You were saying this in Russian in your sleep. You know what that means?
Holy crap, that's crazy. You know Russian?
Yeah, that's really creepy when you think about it. It's like some Manchurian Candidate stuff.
Bro, so one time I was sleeping over a previous girlfriend's house, and for some reason in the middle of the night I woke up and I thought she was awake, and I looked over and immediately she just giggled at me, and I was so freaked out. I was so scared.
She was asleep and she just giggled?
She just giggled when I looked over at her, and I don't know why I woke up, but I did, and I looked over, she's like, I'm like, whoa, don't do that. Hello? Are you awake? But she wasn't.
That's funny.
I was scared, man.
I don't know. I think there's a logical explanation for everything, though. Like, my grandma, she was a Russian language teacher for a long time, and even though I don't speak it, I can understand some of the words, and I bet my brain probably picked some of them up, you know, from being around her or listening to her. And I probably just, you know, remembered some of it. Yeah. But yeah, no, it's fun to record yourself like that.
Yeah, and so just recording yourselves will just help dream recall.
Yeah, because then what you can do is actually, this is one of the techniques, and we'll also talk about that later on, but actually just play back your dream recording of your own dreams, like when you're about to go to bed. As you're going to bed, maybe listen to one or two of your dream recordings, because it puts you in that state of mind, and it's kind of like inducing yourself or like those ideas into your mind. So that's definitely a positive way to use that technology. Yeah. Now, and then, so a lot of this is associated with your phone because it's so versatile, you know, like smartphones are so versatile. Like another technology you can use is alarms, or like a soft alarm specifically, because one of the things that Dr. Stephen LaBarge had done is try to set off auditory cues at certain stages in the sleep cycles to kind of trigger lucidity in people. So if you have like a very low decibel, one that's audible enough for you to hear it but not wake you up, that can actually help trigger a lucid dream. And that's happened to me before more than once. So
that's interesting.
Yeah, because you are very susceptible. You're still, I mean, like, your brain is never really turned off. Like, you can still hear, like, that's why if there's a loud noise in your room, like, you wake up and you're like, oh, what's that? What's going on? But it's also very, like, have you ever had a situation where you're, like, half asleep and you're kind of like, you know, like, somebody's pushing you awake and you're like, get away from here. You know?
Yeah.
So, you know that there's something there, but you're just, you know, too deep in the sleep, and whatever's going on isn't strong enough to bring you out of the sleep. So it's basically what you're aiming for.
And you said these are certain times in your sleep?
Yeah.
At certain points?
So REM cycles, like once you actually fall asleep, REM cycles happen about every 90 minutes. Yeah. So if you're wanting to maybe set off on that's the thing though, like, and there's different apps. I'm not going to say any specific apps because I looked some of them up for this podcast, and honestly, there's a lot of mixed reviews, so I can't honestly suggest any. I
actually have a Fitbit.
Okay.
And it does record, and you just wear it on, and it's, monitors your heartbeat, resting phases and stuff.
Okay.
And it does, if you leave it on overnight, it does record your sleep, which is really interesting.
Yeah. So that's actually, like, I know some people on the different forums talk about, like, if you have like a smartwatch that's linked up to your phone, there's different apps that you can download that actually track your sleep and then have like a low light emit from your phone or like a sound emit from your phone to where you're at the right time or close or to right around the right time where you're in a deep sleep in order for it to trigger an actual lucid dream. But the thing is, the reviews on those technologies are so mixed. Like, it's not the same thing as if you're doing it in a lab. Because if you're in a lab, you can control all the variables like perfectly and get it induced like with precision. But it's worth a shot though. If you're, I'm not going to like endorse any specific apps or technology that's out there, but it's worth, just because it's not reliable, but it's worth playing around with if you're into it.
Yeah, I also like seeing like my previous nights, like recording of like, oh, I hit deep sleep. Oh, I was only REM for this long. Oh, no wonder I feel like crap in the morning.
Okay, yeah. So actually, I would say that's probably more useful, is just having that data to track to see, because maybe you can be like, oh, I did this on this day, or went to bed at this time. So it kind of gives you an idea of how your body works in terms of like what works for you and how to sleep better. And so that's all very useful technology. But that's pretty much it for that one. But the next thing that I wanted to say though is, which is, again, it's kind of like an ancient thing that people have been doing for a long time, and which I do daily. It's drawing out your dreams. So this is something that's, again, available to everyone. And regardless of what your art level is, like artistic skills are, you should draw out your dreams, just because it's a very creative thing. So it triggers your creative side of your brain, which helps, or supposed to help with dreams. Because I've seen, you sketch out your dreams sometimes, right?
Certain times when I feel like, oh, this was interesting, I really like this kind of scene.
Okay.
Or like it is like kind of evoked an emotion for me, so I like to like try to sketch it out. Because I know that you meditate a good amount, do you see any correlation to the state of mind that you get into while meditating, and similar to while doing art? There can be. Okay. If you're focused on something, you can get into a state of focusing, and which is a little practice of meditation. But it depends on the person, and it depends on how long you do an activity. So it's just similar to working out, right? Like I can start working out and I'm just like kind of focus on jogging or focus on lifting. And that's just you focus on the present, which is, what meditation is there for. But it depends on like how, you kind of fall into that state, after a certain period, and that kind of varies from people to people. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. To me, I love drawing just because it's so meditative to me. So I can see how, but yeah, you're right. It does vary from person to person. But that's definitely something that can help. So listening to your dream stories, we already went over that. So like this next one is Lucid Dream Induction Mask. Okay. So this is like a very specific modern technology that's made specifically for the idea of, achieving lucid dreams. So what do you like when you hear that Lucid Dream Induction Mask? What do you think of? It sounds very sci-fi.
Is it like a face hugger that just sucks dreams out of you or something?
So it's basically like one of those like light blocking masks that you put on, but they have like really low light emitting LEDs in the mask itself. which is supposed to trigger like a very shallow response from you while you're sleeping. And the thing about these masks is that they pretty much like they don't work. Like if you read the reviews on the different masks, it's like they don't really work. So I wouldn't suggest them.
This is one of those like those shortcuts, right? If you're trying to like lose weight, you always see commercials about like, oh, do this in a week and you can lose like X amount of pounds. This is like, oh, you just wear this, you go Lucid. Yeah.
It's actually, that's a good analogy. Like wear this belt. It does your crunches for you. Like,
you don't need this to go lucid, or you don't need this to start dreaming. You already do that yourself. You just got to be aware of it.
Yeah, honestly, like arguably the most important thing is training your awareness as opposed to like relying on this technology. But moving on,
and it's free.
Exactly, free and with extremely beneficial side effects.
Yep.
So, but the next one is actually really, really interesting. So, basically, researchers at MIT developed a way to manipulate dreams with a sleep tracking device called a Dormio. So what it is they basically use like wearable, like things that people wear along with, I think it was an app, and they track heart rate, electrical charges on the skin surface, and muscle reflexes. So clearly it's very extensive in the tracking.
Is this a whole like suit you would put on?
No, so it's just like a couple of different trackers. Like you put some on like on your hand and like on your fingers, and then and then obviously they also put like leads. I think they put some on your head and then like around your heart, like whenever you get an EKG. And so what the idea behind this is they were trying to track to see when you get into different states of sleep, and then also to induce like the actual ideas that they want you to dream about, which is it's very sci-fi, kind of creepy, but interesting nonetheless. Would you ever undergo such a experiment?
Yeah, sure. I mean, it doesn't seem harmful. They're not like injecting dream-inducing drugs into me and then like sucking it out.
Yeah, so yeah, that's what I was thinking too. It's like it's kind of creepy when you think about it, but is it really? I mean, like compared to everything else that people experiment with. So this experiment, the researchers at MIT had a 67% success. The way that they did it is they would have the dreamers, they would record themselves, again, kind of like what we talked about previously. The dreamers would record themselves on audio to dream about a specific topic. Like they would say like, dream about trees or about this or that, or like, and then they would listen to that. But it would be played at a specific state. It's called Hyagogia, which is the state right as you're entering into sleep, when you're going into a deeper sleep. So it's very interesting because right at that state, the researchers figured out that a person is very susceptible to suggestions, and that's when they would play that and get that into the person, and so. Obviously, they ended up having the dreams about that.
So they hypnotize people into dreaming these certain things.
Yeah. I mean, that's a fair statement. Like, suggested it and like they inceptioned them into doing that. Yeah. So that's one thing. Actually, Hyagogia, what happens during that state, usually. So I know some of the listeners have written to us before about sleep paralysis and night terrors. That's usually the state that happens in, because it's like as you're transitioning right from that state into sleeping, your body kind of locks up. But if you don't actually go to sleep, some people get kind of like caught. It's almost like a glitch. They get caught in this state where they're like half awake, half asleep, but they start to hallucinate or see things that their dreams would produce, and it's very freaky if you get into that state. Have you ever had that?
No, but I've heard like people, I've heard about it and read about it. And yeah, it's basically they freeze up and they're kind of in this kind of weird not sleep, not awake state. And also it's usually dark, so their eyes are also playing tricks on them of whatever they're seeing.
Yes.
Like the shadows meld and then your mind tries to make sense of it, and it can become really freaky. Also, I don't know if this ever happened to you, but I've heard that people, like, when they kind of just wake up or, open their eyes during sleep and they look over to their partner's face and it's super scary.
Oh.
Has that happened to you?
No, I mean, so yes and no. Like, it's happened to where it's looked like the face of somebody else, but it wasn't scary. And when I say somebody else, not another person, but like one time it was just like fur. Like, it looked like her, like her face was
scary.
Just...
That's scary.
I guess it is. Yeah, I guess that is scary. But yeah, well, so I have had people also tell me that they've had that experience, the Hyagogia experience, but then they go lucid during the Hyagogia experience. So they can't move their body or anything, but they can control like the environment around them. And I had one person tell me that like there was like a demon that appeared at their bed. And then they were just like, the demon was like, oh, I'm going to torture you. So like then the lucid dreamer just ended up like having a conversation with the demon. It's like, oh, how's it going, buddy? What are you, why are you doing this? Like, what's this all about? That's the power of lucid dreams, people. Sometimes. So this last one is probably the coolest one. So it's basically Japanese scientists recording dreams. So this is Professor Yukiyasu Kamitani, hope I said that right, from the ATR Computational Neuroscience Laboratories in Kyoto. And his team have managed to record what people dream with 60% accuracy. And they do this with MRI scans and ask people what they saw right after falling asleep or just after waking up. And they build a database. And then they refine the database by scanning people's brains when they were awake and looking at common imagery.
Yeah.
I
think I might take back what I said earlier about doing these experiments. I don't know if I'd be comfortable enough just to have like a bunch of people stare at me while I sleep.
Yeah.
But this sounds really cool.
So here's the weird thing about this one is, so you can actually kind of look up, like if you just YouTube Japanese scientists recording dreams, you'll be able to get some videos of what they recorded, but it's nothing impressive, honestly. It's kind of impressive. Okay, so here's what I mean. Like when you look at what they're recording, it reminds me of like, what is it, back in the 60s or 70s?
What exactly are they recording?
Whatever the person is thinking about. So they're trying to record whatever image your mind conjures up.
Okay, so it comes out as an image.
Right. So they basically they're scanning your brain and they're looking for the patterns that your brain is emitting, and then like, oh, okay, they're thinking about this. This is kind of what the thing that they're thinking about looks like. And so the weird thing about it is it reminds me like where the technology is at currently. It reminds me of like the 70s with like the 8-bit graphics for like video games. So it's very like pixelated and it's not in focus. But if you think about just like, what is it, like 30 years later, and you have like high definition, like Gears of War video games, like things like that, or like 40 years maybe, not 30. But so I think that eventually they could polish the technology to the point where it'd probably be like, they record your brain and it shows like what me and you are like looking at right now.
Honestly, that is really impressive. And that just makes sense. They're literally trying to form your brain waves into an image.
Yeah.
Just saying that doesn't make any damn sense.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's really cool, but I thought about, like, how cool would it be if they polished the technology to the point where, let's say you're awake and you're looking at a screen, and whatever you're thinking about, the screen, like, conjures up exactly as you imagine it.
No, that's exactly what it's probably going to lead to.
Man, can you imagine?
Just like in VR, like you can make anything, But
can you imagine, like they do that? Like, let's say they do that. You can pretty much like orchestrate an entire movie with just thinking about it. Like, oh, yeah. This is what happens.
Everyone's going to be Tony Stark controlling Jarvis,
Yeah. Man, the future is going to be so crazy.
Yeah, that's amazing. So I can't imagine like the technology and research and development just trying to produce an image from like thinking.
Yeah. Geez. Like how much energy does that even like, how can you imagine like the processing power needed to do that? But 60% accuracy though, that's crazy. Like they managed to record what people dreamt about with 60% accuracy. That's crazy. And it's only been in development for about 5 years. So, yeah. Man. So there are other technologies that we didn't really touch on because I feel like they would fall in a different category, like mostly supplements and things that people can ingest to enhance their dreams. But these are definitely like, as far as like tools and external technologies that people can use to enhance their dreams. Can you think of anything else maybe that we're leaving out that you think may be used?
Maybe like a mattress. Is there a mattress that like gives you like a dream mattress? Sleep on this mattress and you have the best dreams of your life.
So I was thinking about that.
Sound nice?
I was thinking about that too. Like, I guess that would fall under technology too. Like your environment, that like how your environment is set up is extremely important, because you want to sleep well. But it seems like that might be a separate thing, like a separate episode. Also,
for that dream induction mask, does it only work if you're like sleeping face up, like on your back? What if you're like a side sleeper? Like, doesn't that interfere and stuff?
I don't know, but like, so I can't really sleep if I have anything on my face. I don't know about you, but like if I have like a mask,
as well.
Like mask or glasses or anything, I'm like, it just totally messes with my sleep. I can't sleep well.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, it's a good idea though. I give them an A for effort, but it doesn't really work. Just read the reviews. Read the reviews on Amazon or wherever. It's kind of funny because they're like, you can totally pick out the paid reviews from the real reviews.
Oh,
because there's such a contrast.
Next time we should probably look up Kickstarter stuff for dream stuff. There's a bunch of cool Kickstarters, and I'm sure there's got to be stuff on dreams, and somebody will think of something crazy and try to attempt to make it.
Yes.
That might be an interesting place.
Yeah, I love seeing like the type of people that are interested in dreams and dream technology specifically are just like, they're interesting people. like Stephen LaBarge, for example, the guy that wrote Exploring the World of Lucid Dreaming is very, I don't know, he looks like a comic book character to me. But really cool guy, but definitely fits the, I don't know, profile of a comic book character. But yeah, so that was pretty much it for what we have for dream technology. Hope you guys enjoyed what we talked about. As always, if you have any dreams that you want to share with us, please let us know either through our website, LetsDreamPodcast.com, or the subreddit, LetsDreamPodcast. But also, we are almost finished setting up the Discord, where people will be able to like come in, and we'll also try to do like live, kind of like live audio where people can come up, kind of like the stage recordings, because that's a new feature of Discord. So if anybody's interested in that, just to come up and share their dream for like, completely anonymous if you want, that's totally fine. Just share your dream with us. We would love to hear them. And thank you for joining.
And the Discord will just be another place to discuss amongst everyone else as well. And thank you guys so much, and we'll see you in the next dream episode.